would like to talk briefly about domestic violence. Domestic violence is one of the greatest issues that need attention, that needs to abolish because it creates so much effects and not only in grown-ups' lives but also to the children's lives. So we need to think about domestic violence and not only think about it, but also we need to find the perfect mechanism to diffuse it in every corner. And not only in America, but every part of the world where people have been abused by any type of violence. You know, there are many type of violence that if we put ourselves together as one, we can solve that. And the easiest way to solve that issue is to examine it and to value one another, to accept one another, to love one another. By that, we will diffuse that hate. And it is an anger, it is a hate issue because when we examine how wonderful, how beautiful love is, where there is love, there is no such thing. There is no such things. There is no such thing as domestic violence. So love has the ability to truly diffuse domestic violence or any type. So today, if you are in a relationship, you need to examine your relationship. You need to know what do you want to accomplish in your relationship. What do you have in your relationship? Whatever it's important for you in your relationship, you need to value it. Value your spouse, value your girlfriend, value your boyfriend, value your neighbor. You know, value, the word of value is such a wonderful word in which we can apply because when you value something, you look at different, you protect it different, you manage it different. So everyone life is matter. Life is matter. Whether you from another part of the world, regardless of your background or your ethnicities, when you realize how significant someone else's life is or how long it takes before you can build, before a baby can become a being, it takes a long process. So therefore, it is essential that we learn to get along to each other, we learn to love, we learn to value each other, and by that we will diffuse domestic violence because we don't want to lose anybody. And if someone is dear to you, you don't want to lose that person. And the easiest way to uh, protect that person's life is to value that person, is to understand that person, is to cherish that person. So domestic violence is a serious issue that requires everyone efforts to bring forth the perfect solution on how to manage it. Not only on not only on the unmarried people, sometimes we kind of think that it's because they didn't have the proper procedure and that's why the issue started. But violence started from many aspects because uh, one is one is one is poverty. One is poverty, and second one is drugs, and the third one is disrespect. And when you have these type of issue, you don't see things the way you should be seeing things. So that's why it is not one particular category that can fix that. It is a big issue, and that's why it requires that we examine that issue, which is the domestic violence, to see um, what solution you personally, as an individual, what can you do in your environment, in your community, in your household, because there's something that called peace. Peace is a wonderful thing in which that we all need to uh, uh, analyze, because when you have peace, you become more productive. You have the mindset in which you can function at a proper level. You can think differently, you can operate differently. So but with domestic violence, it is impossible for you to become productivity, because you cannot you do not have the peace of mind to create a great environment, to create wealth. So when you have domestic violence, you always in lack, because you do not have the energy that you need to have mentally, physically, and psychologically, So domestic violence is a big issue. It's a big issue. It requires your help. It requires my help. Wealth. Wealth is another wonderful thing, because when we have wealth, when we have money, when we have big capitalism, when we have big uh, so many great things like industry and uh, lots of activities, and that can create an atmosphere in which that we can diffuse the hate, we can diffuse domestic violence. But that's why we need solidarity to solve this type of problems. Um, how do you view? How did you view domestic violence? Is it something that requires your help? Is it something what requires the government's help, or is it something that we all need to examine and embrace to come up with the perfect solution that we need to solve this problem? So, if you are in a relationship, you need to value it. You need to know what you need from your partner. You need to know what your partner means to you. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Because value, when you value your partner, that inspire you to love her or love him and respect that person daily. One of the greatest example we have in the Bible, it's a lady called by the name of Sarah. Sarah, according to the Bible, 1 Peter 3 chapter 1 Peter 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 6. It says that Sarah loved Abraham so much, which is her husband. She never calls her husband Abraham, but she prefers to call him Master. How beautiful. So that's why it is essential to value what you have, to love what you have, to appreciate what you have. You know, that way you will have a wonderful relationship. We all in a relationship in some subtype. We all have some sort of relationship. So when we look at the way we have domestic violence here and there, here and there, here and there, it causes a lot of pain, a lot of pains, a lot of pain. So there are many types of violence, but one person cannot bring solution to diffuse or to but one thing that I know, if we work in solidarity, we can solve this problem, because we need to have peace that we need to have to move forward. So value, respect, and love, domestic violence can be diffused by these three things. Truly, you need to value one another. We need to value one another. Value yourself. For example, if you love yourself the way you should love yourself, or if you love your neighbor the way you should love your neighbor, would you be happy to destroy yourself? Would you be happy to destroy your neighbor? I don't think so. Who's your neighbor? According to the Bible, your neighbor is everyone that you meet. Everyone that you meet. So today, I dare you to find a reason to value your neighbor, to respect your spouse, to respect your family, to respect everyone that you meet, because we need one another. And not only we need one another, Everyone's lives is matter. Everyone's lives is matter. So that's why we need to take responsibilities that we need to take to decrease domestic violence. It's everyone that need to take that responsibilities. Everyone. We need to learn to stand for what we need. We need to stand for love. We need to stand for poverty. We need to stand for domestic violence. We need to stand for drugs. We need to stand for pollution. Anything that can create a big issue for our lives, for our loved ones. We need to find the perfect mechanism to stop that. Let us today love one another, appreciate one another. By that, domestic violence